Brent Wilson. I'm the Senior Vice President of Global Supply Chain Operations at Qualcomm Incorporated. The role includes all of our planning, all of our logistics, all of our capacity planning, forecasting. Kinexions is always good. The presentations are nice to get exposed to new material, but the most important thing is the peer connections. So it's nice to hear from other executives that are in all various stages of implementing Kinexions Maestro, different ways they're trying to do it. So it's always good to get some references from what people are going through. I'm a recent hire into Qualcomm, and they brought me in to basically rebuild their supply chain. So it was in the middle of COVID. There was heavy constraints on the entire industry, including with Qualcomm. I came in, established, frankly, a whole new method of planning using Maestro and a full-blown S&OP process, which really involved all the organizations within Qualcomm. One of my big goals was to make sure everybody understood that they have a part to do in supply chain and for supply chain to be successful, and then make sure they understood what that role was, and make sure they understood how that contributed really to making us a better corporation. Our business really started with handsets. Complex business, but simple business model. We only had about 5 customers, a handful of parts, so it was fairly easy to keep track of. Now we're diversifying into automotive, into compute, into XR, into hyperscaling servers. So very different markets moving at very different speeds with very different channels and customer expectations. Having better control of our supply chain is allowing us to flawlessly go into those markets and service the customers at a very high rate right from the very first day we start shipping, and at the same time do it in a very efficient and cost-effective manner. Maestro, the concurrency of it to see everything all the way through really allows you to understand inventory policy well and really plan inventories at a very minimal level. It does allow you through S&OP to see a long range ahead. In our industry, that's really key. A lot of these different businesses we're serving use very similar technologies. So in some ways, they're competing businesses for the same resources. So we have to see that so we can make strategic decisions. At the same time, we're at the leading edge of processing in semiconductors. And there's only really one company right now that can service that. So there's also constraints and concerns on that end. The visibility of Maestro allows us to have good conversations around, what if scenarios and what might happen out there at the leading edge, and then how we would react to that with our customers, and even through sensing some of our demand. It allows us to change where we might point a particular design, or might even go softer into a market that before we were planning on going very hard into, but we're now concerned about a constraint that may exist 2 or 3 years out. And frankly, at Qualcomm, that was unheard of before.